Cold case finally solved. The evidence that broke a 20-year silence. Before we dive in, hit subscribe so you never miss the stories they never wanted uncovered. The words cut through the darkness as the screen fades into the cold, gray outskirts of Mercer County. It is dawn, and police lights flicker across a narrow two-lane road that slices through the sleeping town. A light mist hugs the ground, thick enough to hide things that should have stayed buried, things that are finally forcing their way back into the daylight. Detective Elise Rowan steps out of her unmarked cruiser, her breath crystallizing in the winter air. She has seen dozens of bodies in her 14 years on the force, but this one is different. The dispatcher's voice still echoes in her mind. Possible link to the Dawson case. No one had uttered that name in 2 decades. Not since the night 17-year-old Maren Dawson vanished without a trace. Her disappearance became Mercer County's most infamous mystery, a story whispered in diners and school hallways, always ending with the same hollow question. What really happened to Maren? Now, after 20 years of silence, something has surfaced. Elise walks toward the embankment where officers gather. The body lies curled against the rusted guardrail, its clothes soaked from the overnight rain. But that isn't what freezes Elise in place. Clutched in the victim's left hand is a necklace, a cheap silver chain with a small red enamel heart. Elise has seen it before. Everyone has. It appeared on every missing poster from 2005 to 2010. Maren's necklace. 2 decades without answers. And now a dead stranger is clutching the most iconic piece of evidence the town ever lost. Bag the hands separately, Elise orders, her voice steady despite the chaos rising inside her. I don't want a single fiber disturbed. Officer Pike nods and begins photographing the scene. Paramedics hover nearby, but everyone already knows the victim is beyond saving. Elise kneels, studying the man's face. Early 40s. No ID. Faint bruising across the neck. Maybe strangulation, maybe a struggle. But the necklace, that changes everything. Detective, Officer Pike says softly, holding out a thin plastic evidence bag. Inside is a folded piece of damp paper found in the victim's jacket pocket. Elise opens it carefully. A single sentence, written in rushed handwriting, stares back at her. She didn't run away. Elise feels a chill crawl up her spine. For 20 years, Maren's case was described as a likely runaway, a teenager escaping a troubled home. That theory was convenient, clean, easy, and impossible to disprove. But Elise never believed it. And now, with this note, someone else was trying to speak from the grave. At the station, Elise studies a note under a forensic lamp. Pike enters, holding a small evidence tray. You need to see this. It was in the victim's shoe. He hands her a thin, rectangular object. Elise turns it over. A memory card, scratched and dirty, as if it had been hidden for years. Where was it? Inside the heel. Someone cut open the lining. Elise's heart kicks hard against her ribs. Get IT to decrypt it immediately. Tell them to prioritize it. But before Pike can respond, the lab technician, Rhea Kim, bursts into the room with wide eyes. Detective Rowan, we pulled partial prints from a necklace. They don't match the victim. They belong to someone already in our system. Who? Elise asks. Rhea swallows. Liam Prescott. Elise grips the edge of the desk. Liam Prescott was Maren's boyfriend at the time of her disappearance, the last person to see her alive. He had been questioned for weeks, accused by half the town, and cleared only after his alibi held. He'd moved away shortly after, leaving Mercer County behind like a crime scene he no longer wanted to look at. Elise exhales slowly. Give me his last known address, his workplace, anything, and notify the chief. This case is reopening. When Elise returns to her office, she finds a memory card sitting on her desk with a yellow sticky note. Recovered. You should see this. Rhea must have dropped it off while she was in the hall. Elise locks the door, closes the blinds, and inserts the card into her computer. At first, only static appears. Then the screen flickers, revealing a dimly lit basement. Concrete walls, a single hanging bulb, and a shadow standing close to the camera, blocking half the frame. The figure's voice is low, shaky. It's been 20 years. I can't carry this anymore. If anyone finds this, Please, please look on the floor. The video ends abruptly. Elise stares at the frozen final frame. A basement, a confession, a direction to hidden evidence, and someone whose face was never shown. Someone still alive, still out there, still dangerous. Suddenly, Pike knocks on the office door. "Detective, the chief wants you downstairs. We have a problem." "What kind of problem?" Elise asks. Pike hesitates. "Liam Prescott. He's missing. He vanished last night." Elise's blood turns cold. The timing is too perfect, too suspicious. And she can't shake the feeling that whoever recorded the video, whoever left the note, whoever placed that necklace, they were all connected by a secret that had been buried for 20 years. She grabs her coat. Where was he last seen? Pike sighs. His mother's house. And detective, there's something else. They found a locked basement door, and the deputies say it wasn't on the original floor plan. Elise freezes. A basement that wasn't supposed to exist. A 20-year-old disappearance. And a new body clutching old evidence. As Elise and Pike head toward the Prescott residence, a silent dread follows them like a shadow. Because whatever waits behind that basement door is the first real crack in a case Mercer County buried years ago. And when they open it, the drive to the Prescott residence feels longer than it should. Snow clouds gather overhead, dimming the morning light until Mercer County looks washed in gray. Detective Elise Rowan sits rigid in the passenger seat, replaying the final seconds of the basement video. Look under the floor. Whoever spoke those words sounded terrified, as if the truth they carried was heavier than their own conscience. Pike turns into a quiet cul-de-sac. The Prescott home sits at the far end, its brick exterior chipped from years of neglect. Police tape flutters across the front porch. A deputy steps out to meet them. "Detective Rowan, we secured the property. No sign of Liam Prescott, but you'll want to see the basement." Elise exchanges a look with Pike. "Show us." Inside, the air is stale and cold. Family photos still hang on the walls. Pictures of Liam as a boy, smiling at fishing trips and school graduations. But one photo catches Elise's attention. It shows Liam at 17 with his arm around a girl, Maren Dawson, both young, bright, full of the future that was stolen from them. They reach the basement door. It's thick, reinforced with metal brackets added at some point. "This wasn't here 20 years ago," the deputy explains. "And it's not on any house plans." "Who installed it?" Elise murmurs. "We don't know. Liam's mother passed last year. Neighbors say contractors were here right before she died, but no one saw what they were doing." Elise takes a deep breath, pushes open the door, and descends a narrow staircase. The basement is cold enough to sting the skin. A single bulb flickers overhead, revealing a tight, windowless space that feels more like a bunker than a room. The concrete floor is spotless, too spotless. Pike crouches near the far wall. "Detective, look at this." Elise hurries over. Scratched into the concrete, barely visible unless the light hits just right, are the numbers 20,505. A date. Elise stiffens. May 20th, 2005, the night Maren disappeared. Pike stands. Someone left a message, or a reminder. Elise whispers. She scans the floor again, kneeling this time, pressing her palm against the concrete. It's colder in one spot, unnaturally cold. A chill crawls up her spine. Whoever recorded the video said, "Look under the floor." And here, directly beneath her, something is waiting. "Get the forensic excavation team down here." Elise says, "Now." While they wait, she walks the perimeter of the room. The walls are clean, except for one section near the staircase where faint marks suggest furniture was once pushed against it. A hastily covered electrical outlet sits beneath the smudges. Elise kneels and removes the panel. Behind it is dust, a few loose wires, and a folded photograph. Her pulse quickens as she unfolds it. The photo shows Maren Dawson sitting in the backseat of a car, leaning against the window, eyes closed as though asleep. But Elise's instincts say otherwise. Her posture too rigid, her expression too still. This was not a candid moment. This was documentation. "Pike," Elise calls quietly. "We have more than a missing person case. Before he can answer, the excavation team arrives. They begin scanning the concrete with thermal and density sensors. After several tense minutes, the lead technician looks up. There's a void beneath the floor. Something's down there. The team cuts through the concrete carefully. The grinding echoes through the basement like a mechanical scream. Dust rises, coating their uniforms. When they finally break through, a rush of cold, trapped air escapes from the hidden space below. The technician shines a flashlight inside first, then freezes. "Detective, you need to see this." Elise steps forward, lowering herself to peer into the cavity. The beam of the flashlight reveals a shallow, rectangular chamber. Inside are objects, wrapped bundles, a rusted metal box, and what looks like the corner of a plastic evidence bag. Pike swallows hard. What is all that?" "Bring them up," Elise says. The team carefully lifts the contents from the chamber. The first item is a sealed evidence bag containing a cell phone, an old model from the early 2000s. Next, they retrieve the bundles. When the cloth is unwrapped, everyone falls silent. Inside are clothes, Maren Dawson's clothes. The one she was reported wearing on the night she disappeared. Her denim jacket, her white sneakers, her bracelet. Perfectly preserved. Perfectly hidden. Pike exhales shakily. This basement was a storage room. A vault. Elise turns to the rusted metal box. She opens it. Inside are several cassette tapes labeled only with dates spanning 2004 to 2005. One is labeled simply MD. Another chill snakes through her. This was planned, collected, staged. Pike wipes his palms on his pants. "You think Liam Prescott did this?" "I don't know," Elise replies. "But someone built this room to hide what really happened. Someone who knew the truth." A deputy rushes down the stairs. "Detective Rowan, we just received a call from a fishing cabin 40 miles out. A hiker reported seeing a man matching Liam Prescott's description stumbling into the woods. They found a truck nearby registered in his name. Is he armed?" Elise asks. "Unknown, but the caller said he looked terrified." Elise nods. "Put out a bolo. Secure the area. I'm heading there." Pike grabs his coat. "I'm coming with you." Before leaving, Elise glances back at the open concrete chamber, the preserved artifacts, the photo, the tapes. For 20 years, everyone believed Maren Dawson had vanished because she wanted to. But now the evidence tells a different story, one meticulously recorded, hidden, and protected. Whoever built that basement didn't want the truth lost. They wanted it buried. As Elise and Pike speed toward the remote cabin, she can't shake the feeling that Liam Prescott isn't running from the police. He's running from something else. And whatever it is, it's been waiting 20 years to be found. The forest around the old fishing cabin is unnervingly quiet, wrapped in a blanket of winter fog that softens every sound. Detective Elise Rowan steps out of the cruiser, boots sinking into the wet ground. Pike walks beside her, scanning the treeline with a tense jaw. The cabin ahead looks abandoned, boards missing from the siding, windows fogged from years of neglect. But a fresh set of footprints leads straight to the door. "This is the place," Elise murmurs. They approach slowly. The porch creaks under their weight. Pike tries the handle. It's unlocked. Elise draws her flashlight and pushes the door open. Dust hangs in the air like drifting ghosts. A table lies overturned, and a stained blanket is bunched in the corner, as if someone slept there in a hurry. "Elise," Pike whispers, pointing toward the back of the room. A phone sits on the floor, Liam Prescott's, judging by the cracked screen and the wallpaper photo of him as a child with his mother. She crouches and picks it up. The battery is low, but the last recorded video is still open. Elise taps play. A shaky recording fills the screen. Liam's face appears, pale, gaunt, frantic. "If you find this," he whispers, voice cracking, "I didn't do it. I didn't hurt her. I've lived with that lie for 20 years. And I can't anymore. I should have spoken sooner, but I was scared. I didn't know what he'd do." Elise's pulse stutters. "He? Who is he?" The video continues. "He made me leave town. He said if I stayed, he'd bury me like he buried the truth. I didn't believe him until I saw what he built in the basement. I didn't put anything there. I swear on my life. But I know who did. And if he finds me now, it's over. A loud noise interrupts the recording. Something slamming. Liam's face jerks toward the camera in terror. He's here. Please, someone. The video cuts out. Pike exhales, shaken. Someone followed him here. A floorboard creaks above them. Slow. Deliberate. Elise's heart leaps. Someone is upstairs. She signals Pike. They move silently toward the staircase. Guns drawn. Footsteps light on the warped wood. The second-floor hallway is narrow, lined with peeling wallpaper. At the end of the hall, a door stands slightly open. A dim glow flickers from inside. Elise nudges the door wider. The room is empty except for a cot, a lantern, and a pile of old newspapers. But something wet stains the floor near the window, a smear of blood leading toward the woods. Pike steps back. He's injured. Elise scans the woods through the window. The fog is thick, but she can see movement, something stumbling between the trees. That's him. They rush out the back door and follow the trail of blood. Branches whip their faces. The forest grows darker, tighter, as though trying to swallow the truth they're chasing. Finally, they see him, Liam Prescott, collapse beside a fallen log, clutching his side. Liam! Elise kneels beside him. Who did this? Who's after you? Liam's eyes flutter open. Fear floods him the moment he recognizes her. You found the basement? Yes. We found everything. His breathing quickens. Then he knows. He knows it's all coming out. Who? Elise presses. Liam, give me a name. He grabs her wrist with surprising strength. My father. Pike freezes. Your father? But he died years ago. Liam shakes his head weakly. That's what he wanted everyone to think. He disappeared the night Marin did. But he didn't die. He hid. And he built everything in that house. He recorded those tapes. He made me leave. Elise's stomach twists. Why? Liam's voice is barely a whisper. Because Marin found out what he was doing. She threatened to tell. He panicked. I saw him take her into the basement. I heard her scream. He told me she ran away. I believed him. I was a kid. I didn't know. Elise feels cold from the inside out. Where is he now? Liam's eyes widen. He lifts a trembling hand, pointing behind Elise. She turns sharply. A figure steps in the fog. A tall man, gray hair plastered to his skull, clothing mud-stained, boots heavy. His face is hardened, eyes empty. And yet Elise recognizes him instantly from the old Dawson case files. Thomas Prescott, Liam's father, missing for 20 years. Presumed dead. He's holding a hammer. Elise draws her weapon. Drop it. Now! Thomas stares at her, expression unreadable. You shouldn't have opened that floor, detective. Some things belong in the dark. You hid evidence. Elise snaps. You hid the truth. Thomas smirks faintly. You can't hide what you don't have. He lunges. Elise fires. The shot echoes to the forest like thunder. Thomas collapses to the ground, the hammer slipping from his hand. Pike rushes to cuff him, but Thomas doesn't move, not even a twitch. Liam sobs softly, the years of fear collapsing all at once. It's over, he whispers. But Elise isn't convinced. She looks down at Thomas, at the strange calm on his face. Pike, she says, call an ambulance. And tell the chief we just found our suspect. The forest falls silent again. Elise stands over the man who kept Mercer County in the dark for 2 decades. Yet hours later at the hospital, as Elise reviews the evidence collected from the cabin, a nurse rushes into the room, pale and trembling. Detective Rowan, the suspect. He's gone. Elise's head snaps up. Gone? How? He was restrained. The nurse swallows. He walked out, got past security, like he knew every exit. Elise feels a dread she cannot explain. Did anyone see where he went? No, but he left something behind. The nurse hands her a folded note. Elise opens it. You found the basement, detective, but you haven't found the girl. Her breath stops. The case wasn't solved. Not even close. And Thomas Prescott is somewhere out there, waiting for the next move. A chill settles over Elise as she steps outside into the cold night air.